Welcome to this video on spiritual protection whilst you're sleeping. And I'm going to explain to you in this video why this is so important and why so many people overlook this kind of spiritual protection. And so within this video, I'm going to explain to you potentials within the quantum field. I'm going to explain to you about the astral plane. I'm going to explain to you about the effects of shielding whilst you're asleep. And so you want to watch this video to the end. And so if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. Hit the icon so you stay updated for all of these videos that are going to help you spiritually. So I want to talk to you about shielding yourself whilst you're asleep. And in the first instance, I want to start by talking about the different potentials within the quantum field. So the quantum field is what I call the playground for consciousness. And this is where, when you elevate your consciousness in a conscious awakened state, this is where you would see and experience with your third eye, your receiver in here, your pineal gland. However, there's a different space that we go to when we are asleep, and that's somewhere called the astral plane. And the astral plane is full of entities, it's full of low astral beings, and we need to make sure that we're effectively shielded within it. So I'm going to start off by talking to you about the potentials within the quantum field. So forget anybody who has said to you that it is rainbows, it is all unicorns, it's just love and light within this sort of playground for consciousness. That's not accurate, okay? Within the quantum field, there exists all potentials. And so you've got the potentials of the negative, and you've got the potentials for the positive. I would encourage all of you just to work with the lights and work with positive. However, we need to sort of at least respect the fact that there's the negative in there too. And within the quantum field, this playground for consciousness, there are entities, there are demons, there are many things that you would want to shield yourself from. But what about the astral plane? So first of all, what is the astral plane? Okay, it's different. And I'm going to give you my perspective as a multidimensional psychic and how I see it. So how I see this, it's almost as if the astral plane to me is almost like another dimension. And it's something that we travel to when we fall asleep. Okay, when we're asleep, our consciousness, in effect, is vulnerable. Okay, so how many of you watching this video here now, aside from the people who have taught, perhaps some people have taught themselves to lucid dream, which is fantastic. But if you can't lucid dream and you're not in control consciously when you're in the astral plane, how many of you control your dreams when you're in there? You don't, do you? So when you're almost a passenger when you're in the astral plane and when you're in this dream state, okay? And so when you're a passenger and you're not consciously in control of things, you're vulnerable to a degree. And so if we're not careful, you can be attacked within the astral plane, and you can have entities and low astral beings attaching themselves onto you within the astral plane. And how would this look to you? So how do you know if you've been attacked or you've experienced negative frequency within the astral plane? I'll explain it to you quite simply. The first thing is you're probably going to end up with really disturbed sleep. Okay, so you're either having nightmares or you're waking up and you've just got these, you've got these dreams which are, maybe they're not nightmares, but they're negative. All this negative stuff is kind of coming up. Perhaps with these attachments that stick with you, by the way, if you have these attachments within the astral plane that stick onto you, when you then wake up, you still have these entities attached to you. So, you can be feeling quite drained, negative thoughts coming in, away from your normal positive reference state. You can start to have this negative stuff. You can feel tired. You can start to feel anxious. You can start to feel afraid. You can start to have sort of fear and stuff building up. And it's all because what you're experiencing has come in via the astral plane. Now, I've got a complete separate class and videos on shielding within the quantum field, spiritual shielding and protection. But in this video, I want to explain to you how we shield ourselves within the astral plane, which is where we go when we're asleep. Okay, so the thing to understand is the astral plane is a different dimension. Now, when I've opened up to this, if I look up with my third eye as a quantum field, I can almost see the astral plane portal when I'm in a conscious awakened state. To me, it looks like a letterbox, like a rectangular letterbox at the top of the quantum field. And you want to make sure that that is closed. So if you're conscious and visual and you can elevate your consciousness, etc., go up to that portal. So you may not have looked up in the quantum field before, but look up to the top. That's the only best way I can describe it to you. It's like a rectangular letterbox is how it looks to me. You want to make sure that you've shielded that off and closed that off so that nothing from the astral plane can kind of leach through or come through when you're in a conscious awakened state. So you want to make sure that you're sort of insulated all the time from this stuff. That's the first thing. The second thing is what you need to do is to shield yourself for when you're in that state of being vulnerable. Because the vast majority of people are not dream walkers. They're not people who can lucid dream and things like that. The vast majority of people are in an unconscious state, almost passengers in that resting process. And that's where your consciousness goes. It goes to the astral plane. And it's full of stuff that it's full of good stuff, but it's also like the quantum field, it's full of negative stuff too, like these low astral beings. And so you want to make sure that you are adequately protected for the entirety of your sort of sleep that you're there. And how I do this, okay, I'll share with you in this video how I do this. I build quantum architecture around myself, which is basically walls of programmed frequency, programmed with intention. So you program this stuff with your intention. And when I say quantum architecture, it's like energy walls that you basically build around yourself. And you can do this whether you're visual, you can do it whether you're non-visual. You just need to know that it's happened. Your mind creates reality within the quantum field, and you can therefore create architecture and shielding and protection. And super cool sort of high-level stuff. In this video, obviously, we're talking about the astral plane. So you should, before you go to sleep, first of all, you want to make sure in the daytime anyway that the astral plane is closed off. So always look up and just check that it hasn't come open for some reason. So just always make sure it's closed. And then before you go to sleep, what you want to be doing is just closing your eyes and visualizing a wall of frequency, almost like a bubble being created around you, an energetic bubble that you're programming with intention to shield you when you're in this unconscious state traveling through the astral plane, because you're going to go to the astral plane whether you like it or not. When you're asleep, you can't not go there. You're going to go there. So let's make sure that we're dressed accordingly, right? And so you creating this shield around yourself, programmed while you're doing it. Okay, this is going to shield and protect me whilst I'm in the astral plane. This means that when your consciousness, when you cross over, you go to sleep, you're then going to transition into, your consciousness is going to transition into the astral plane, but it's going to go in with this shielding around it. And what you'll find is then, if you've been suffering, because I know that this is a topic that lots of people look into, protecting yourself while you sleep, etc. If you've been struggling with nightmares, if you've been, and if you're having these nightmares, you're waking up, well, it just impacts your life, doesn't it? Not only have you got things sticking onto you, entities sticking onto you, sort of messing with your dream state and things like this, but it disturbs your sleep. And so what happens in the morning, you wake up, you're really tired, it affects your day, you haven't got the energy, you're having to nap in the afternoon. Perhaps the thoughts, you don't want to go through the nightmares again. So, you've got this anxiety that's building up around going to sleep and resting, which is, it's an integral part of the day. You need to make sure that you get an adequate rest. And to get adequate rest, you need peaceful sleep, right? So this is going to help you have peaceful sleep. And so you'll notice the effects almost immediately. So once you build this architecture around yourself, before you go to sleep or before you go to bed, what you'll notice is that you start to get almost immediately far more restful sleep, and you get better dreams. You're not getting these nightmares. You're not waking up tired. You're waking up feeling refreshed, and it's much better. I do add a caveat onto this for you, which you need to listen to. Okay, so, and again, I'm giving you my perspective on this and how I experience it, but it's kind of, I have access to an awful lot of information, but There's certain things I still don't fully understand. So, for instance, from time to time, astral shielding will wear off and you need to redo it. Whereas some of the other shields that I teach people how to install around themselves tend to be set and forget. Once you set them in the field and you've programmed them, they just keep doing their job. You don't need to go and renew them so much. The astral plane seems to be different for some reason. And it seems to, from time to time, wear off. So my recommendation to you is if you want to be really proactive, every 2 or 3 days, protect yourself, renew this. And when your sleep pattern settles down and you've got peace and you're not getting these nightmares and feeling tired and you're not feeling these negative energies and stuff around you so much because you've protected yourself, maybe do it once a week, but just sort of do it by trial and error. That's the way to do it. But this stuff, folks, honestly, it's like I always say, sort of knowledge and awareness is the first stage to transcendence. So, you only know what you know. Once you know the techniques on how to do this stuff, it becomes easy. And you see that working with energy, frequency, and vibration is not that difficult. It's just you need to be shown how to do it. And hopefully this video has helped you somewhat in doing that. Now, in relation to this, if you're interested in learning a bit more in depth about astral shielding, advanced shielding techniques, and all the rest of it, we've got basically a free session on how to defend spiritual attacks. Now, that's completely free. We're going to link to it in the description. So if you want to go and watch basically a free session on shielding techniques and how to do this, and I'll go more in depth than I'll be able to on this video. The link is in the description, so please go and check that out if you're interested in the subject a bit more. If you're interested in something a bit more advanced, then we have a full day workshop which is available. That's available inside of our membership called the Quantum Club. Link to that in the description of this video also. So, you can go and do the free session if you want to. If you're interested in the full day workshop that we held on advanced spiritual protection techniques, you're going to find the description, the link to that, within our membership community, which is going to be in the description of this video. So please feel free to go out, check out both options. But my recommendation to you, shielding yourself spiritually, take it seriously. Because, if you've experienced spiritual attacks, if you've been on the end of discordant negative frequency, it can have a massive impact on your life. So you always want to make sure that you're spiritually dressed and spiritually protected within the field at all times. And that also includes the astral plane, which I've covered in this video for you. So I hope you found the value in this video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It's always a pleasure being here with you. Reach out to me if you've got any questions. You can find me across social media. Take care of yourselves and stay blessed. And I will catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.